If you're going to be consistent at golf, you really need to do one thing extremely well. You need to come down, make contact with the ball first, and then have your divot in front. Here's a way to imagine this, and I'll talk to you in a minute. This all comes from the proper body positions, the weight shift, and a specific way of doing that most people have never learned. I'm going to share with you a drill that's going to teach it to you really, really simply. So imagine this club swinging from an arc like this, almost like a grandfather clock, and there's a low point, which is the lowest point this club comes. So it's moving down, reaches that low point, and then back up again. The same thing's happening in the golf swing. And if we hit a good golf shot, we're going to hit this golf ball before that low point. The low point, or the lowest part that our club gets, is the bottom of our divot, the deepest part of our divot, and then it starts coming back up again. Well, if you do this the right way, you can see how I could just swing even with my left hand here. I could easily hit the golf ball first when I do that. I could swing again with my right hand, hit the golf ball first. Again, these aren't great shots, but I'm showing you it's really easy to just do whatever you want to and make that ball first contact every single time if we have the right weight shift that I'm about to teach you. Now, what most people are doing wrong with this is they fall back on the right side. So what happens is, it's in an effort to come from the inside. We all know that we need to get that club coming from the inside, and when we do that, a lot of times we'll fall on our right foot, and the pressure in the downswing will be on the inside of this right foot. I really feel it on the ball, or this part of my right foot, the inside of my foot, and right up here toward my toe. If you can feel that in your swing, you're most likely doing the same thing. So that weight goes there, right where I was talking about. My right shoulder then drops down a little bit, my head drops behind the golf ball, and now that low point, instead of being up here, is going to be shifted back behind this golf ball. And two things are going to happen, neither of them are any good. Number one, I'm going to hit down and get a little bit of turf, and now I chunk it, and it's an absolutely miserable shot. You hate it. You can't stand playing golf. You swear you're never going to come back and play again. That's super frustrating, and even worse, if you don't chunk it, you barely miss the ground, and now all of a sudden the club is coming up into the golf ball. We do a little flip motion to be able to reach the golf ball, and we hit every shot thin. So if you're constantly battling between chunks and thins, this is exactly what's going on. Well, the first piece of this drill is to get rid of the right foot. If we can't fall back on the right foot, if we're not standing on the right foot. So what I want you to do here is put your feet together. The ball would be in the middle of your feet, and I'm going to slide my right foot back in line with where I just had it. So straight back from here. Now, a mistake people make when they're doing this is they'll get their foot a little bit out to the side without even noticing it, to where my foot would be over here. And now I can still, believe it or not, find a way. Everybody will find a way to mess up a good drill, but I'll find a way to drop back and still hit behind the golf ball. So we got to make sure that we get this foot kind of behind our left foot. Now we're in a way to, we have no choice. Our weight is in front of the golf ball. I really want to feel like pressure on my left hip. I want to feel pressure on the outside of my left foot. And from there, I can go ahead and come from the inside, or I can come down and hit the golf ball first very easily. So that time, hit the golf ball and then the ground. And it's really tough to mess this up if you get a couple key pieces right. Number one, I want to make sure I try to rotate through this shot. What I don't want to do again is just stay very still with my hips and not move. If I stayed still with my hips, I would have to throw my hands and arms at it, often being a flip. I want to feel like I rotate so my hips are opening, my body's opening, and that gets this low point even farther in front, and it kind of ensures that I'm going to hit in front of that golf ball. So again, down and through every single time. Now, there's a problem with this where a lot of times when players will do that, they'll tend to get over the top still. So we're going to line up just like we did there, drop this foot back. A lot of times players will tend to still come out this way because they're coming from the inside by dropping to the right. So we get rid of that drop to the right. Our upper body is very vertical here, and a lot of times we end up kind of coming over the top. Yes, we're hitting the golf ball first. We're hitting a divot after the golf ball, but we're coming down steeper and over the top when we're doing this. But what the pros are doing is they're actually tilted away from the target, even though their weight is on the left foot. So a lot of times people think of, when I tilt to the right, all my weight is falling to the right side. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way, and that's not what the pros are doing. If I stand on this left foot again, what the pros are doing is they're bumping their hips forward. So their hips go forward. This left hip goes toward the target. My head goes away from the target, and I'm staying balanced on my left foot even though I'm tilted away. In fact, when I measured major winners, over 50 major winners, the average that those players were tilted away at contact was about 20 degrees with their spine, meaning their spine angle or their upper body was well away from the target when they hit the golf ball. That's not to be mistaken with them falling this way. Their weight is on their left foot. They just let their hip go forward, their upper body go back. I could balance completely on this foot and be tilted away from the target. So when we do this now, we can see how it's almost impossible to come anywhere but swinging from the inside. My nose is behind the golf ball, and it feels like I can hit in front of this, but really hit a nice little draw as I'm doing that. There we go. So I tried to open up my hips, come from the inside like that, and you're seeing all these are turning over from right to left. That's identical to what you're seeing the pros do when you watch them hit irons on the PGA Tour. They're getting a little shift to the left. My weight is moving to this front foot, same sensation I had in that drill, as my head stays slightly behind the golf ball. So we're going to do about 15 or 20 of those. Balance on the left foot, get the spine tilted away as you're still balancing on this foot, open the body, and just practice hitting about 3 or 4 inches in front of what would be the golf ball. Once you get comfortable with that, hit a few shots balanced on one leg like that. They don't have to be pretty. They don't even have to be over 30 yards. Just get the feeling of getting left and staying behind it so you can come from the inside. And then finally, we'll go ahead and set up to a golf ball, and we'll make a full swing having that same sensation. So weight left, body clearing out of the way, but my head is staying behind it. That's going to get me in the slot every single time, and I'm going to become incredibly consistent when I'm doing this. There you go, another nice little draw there. 192 yards with a 7-iron. I'm not going to do a whole lot better than that. Now, there is one more problem. Most players have never been taught the right way to release the golf club. And what will end up happening is even if you do all those drills correctly, you get your weight left to get the divot in front, you come from the inside, a lot of times you'll block it because the face is just wide open. Most players have never been taught the right way to square up the club like the pros, and instead we've been taught that we need to roll the forearms over each other. So I'm going to square this club up by rolling my forearms over, which is the wrong way to do it. I want to teach you the right way to do it, the way that the pros are doing it, which I call the anti-roll method. Now I'm going to play a preview of that video here in just 1 second. All you need to do is go ahead and click the card that pops up on your screen, and I'm going to share with you exactly what the anti-roll method is, how to get rid of that faulty release and start releasing it like the pros are releasing it. So click one of those cards. If you don't see the card, don't worry, go down to the description below, click the link there, and you'll get instant access. Best of luck. Let me show you this anti-roll method, because once you learn that and you pair it up with what we did here today, that ball is consistently going to be drawing time after time after time. You're going to hit the divot in front, the ball's going to draw, golf's going to be pretty daggone easy. Let's go and get started. So here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep, and that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strikes. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this. There's really only 2 pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,